Righty wheel. Here, the music down. I've taken people's complaints into account. sound is usually too crazy during my streams, so that's fine. Elder Suzukan Exen. Suzukan Exen. Shizukan Exen. It's a very unique name. I love unique names. That's why I have my name. Only I know what my name actually means. Right. I'm just going to get warmed up. So, this is an impromptu stream. I wasn't actually planning on streaming, but happily I have the house to myself tonight. So, I said, you know what? I can be as loud as I want now. May as well stream. I'll say Sizu. I will just say Sizu. Zelenka, happy Saturday. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturdays. I have been doing nothing but being... Well, no, I was going to say I was being lazy, but to be fair, I haven't been lazy today. I did all my stuff, got it out of the way. I've been working on the script for my next 2 videos, actually. So, because I abandoned one idea because I wasn't really liking where the idea was going. So, I'm switching from doing a lore video to a theory video for my next video. And I'm going to do a lore video after that on a different subject than all I was originally thinking of. So, yeah, I started a script, pretty much finished the script, abandoned the script, and now I'm working on a completely different video entirely. This happens to me all the time. This is usually why, if you ever notice that when one of my videos takes longer to come out than usual, it's usually because I'll be working on it, and I'll be like, do you know what? I don't like where this video is going, or it's going to be boring, or maybe I'm telling you something that you already know about in game, and you know what? I'm not going to do a video on it, and I'll just do something else. But my next video, the theory video, is actually related to why I'm standing here, because I was actually doing research here today. So it's partly to do with this on my theory video, but I'll leave that to the imagination. And my next lore video is going to be an interesting one, I think, because the subject matter is not fully addressed in game, which is exactly what I'm after. So, turn it into a short video. Max. I suppose I could turn the abandoned script into... I could technically turn the abandoned video into like 8 shorts, but if I turned it into 8 shorts like that, I suppose I could turn it into 1 short just by doing a quick reference on each subject. Something to consider. I'll consider it. Yeah, I'll consider it. Yeah, I will. I'll think about it. Shizu, I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry, I was just reading that in my head. I wasn't reading that out loud. I should have read it out loud, but it is what it is. Yeah, my style of videos in the past couple of years have been fairly specific. Let me turn off the... I think the music's too low. Yeah, let's turn her up a little bit. Yeah, my style of videos in the past couple of years have been... Essentially, I've pivoted from doing videos that have an expiration date. So I try not to make videos, aside from my theory videos, which are pretty easy to churn out. But I don't do lore videos where the lore is going to change in like 6 months or something. So I try to avoid those subjects. That's why I haven't done many videos about Dawn Trail. But I'm only starting to do it now because the Dawn Trail MSQ has now reached its conclusion with 7.3. But I try not to make lore videos that have an expiration date. I want my lore videos to be watchable in like 5 years time, for example. I don't want it to be debunked or irrelevant in like 6 months time or a year's time even. So that's my first... It's the first type of videos I'm not making anymore. The second is I try to only make lore videos regarding content that doesn't get readily explained to us in the game. So we all play the MSQ, right? We all play through the MSQ. We learn a lot of things about the story, lore, and stuff like that. But I try to base my videos on information that the story doesn't feed to us directly. So I go beyond that to try and gather the information that isn't readily spelled out for us and make a lore video in that regard. Because most of you guys would probably already know the information in the video that I make. So I go beyond to try and just give you information that you probably wouldn't have seen before or wouldn't know about. Like even I wouldn't know about some of the stuff I end up researching. So those are the sort of videos I make these days. And hopefully I'll keep making them for a long time to come. Hey Dom, happy Saturday. I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath from talking so fast. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty warmed up now, to be honest. So yeah, we're gonna do a few things tonight. So I'm gonna do some quests. I'm gonna do the Rising event first. I was gonna do the Rising event the moment it came out, and I said, you know what, I'll wait, because I know I'm gonna have to house myself on Saturday. I'll do it on Saturday. So I've been chomping at the bit to play the Rising event, and I'm like, oh god, oh god, oh god. But we're gonna do that now. I'll do a few quests afterwards. I need to finish my damn relic, so finishing my relic might be a good opportunity for me to have some discussions about some other off topics as well. So yeah, it's 2 minutes past half now, so I suppose we can get started. Where is it? It's usually in Ulda, isn't it? So Rising event first. From what I saw, the artwork, it's focused on the new world this time, isn't it? Yeah, I can hear the fireworks, so... Wait, where's the quest? Is it not here? Did I read any of the interviews Yoshi P did this week? I did, Max. I actually did do that, and it's actually part of the research I'm doing for my next theory video. So I will be talking about that to an extent, but the rest of it I'm going to leave for my theory video, which is coming up. The quest is in Limsa this year. Oh, because we're leaving from Limsa to go to the New World. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, Max, I'll touch on it a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to leave the rest of the video. But yes, I have read OCP's interviews, and they're interesting. Illuminating, rather. Gives us some insights into what we're not getting, at least. Okay. Oh, it must be up on the aft castle, is it? I always like looking around here. So, actually, let's discuss this while I'm standing here for a minute, right? So, we all, like, I suppose it's different for everybody. Like, not every server is the same. For EU servers, or my server Phoenix, for example, the primary lore or hangout spot for people is Limsa Laminsa's Aetherite. Other servers have different hangouts for lore reasons or just for casual hangouts. Like, for example, I think Balmunk is still Ulda and the Quicksand is a primary hangout spot. But for my server, it's this spot. So a lot of people will hang out here and talk about stuff like that. So one of the main things that's actually in the spotlight at the moment is Square Enix's stance on mods and the modding community. Now, he apparently did a long post, so I'm going to I'll probably read that in a few minutes. But they've been clamping down on the modding community, and a lot of modders have been issued with essentially cease and desist, as far as I'm aware, because a lot of them are started shutting down. And to be fair, it's not fully the modder's fault from my experience. I don't mod. I've never even touched mod. One thing I hate is actually modding. I'm not a fan of modding at all. I play my games in vanilla. Like, I'm a big fan of Valheim, for example, and I play Valheim with 0 mods because I just like the vanilla version. But I'm getting off track. The point I'm trying to make is the players who have been modding have not been discreet about it. So they've been sitting in the likes of Limsa Laminsa here, talking about their mods, talking about how to use them. I've even seen people talking here, instructing people on how to install them. That's the one thing you never, ever, ever do. You do not talk about mods or third-party tools in-game. And I'll tell you why. So I've been playing since 1.0, but also 2.0. And in 2.0, we got a new... I think it was during either the final coil of Bahamut, I think, is when I started to see the backlash of it, really. But we got a... No, actually, no, I lie, sorry. We got the app ACT during 2.0 or 2.1, I think, because I remember people using it in the binding coil. But I really started to see the backlash from Square Enix during the final coil, because people were talking about ACT in chat, or people were mentioning other people's scores in chat, and Square Enix was outright banning those people for talking about this third-party tool in chat. So it was literally then around the rating culture then at that point is, don't ever mention ACT or use ACT or talk about it in chat, essentially, because you get banned. And I saw the stories of people getting banned because they were using ACT. Well, not using ACT. Everybody was using ACT by this point. But the only people getting banned were the people talking about it in chat. And this has essentially come full circle now with the modding community. The modding community talking about their mods in-game is what's gotten them into trouble. So they're all throwing hissy fits now at this point. I'm sorry if you're a modder, but the modders essentially have brought this on themselves. Well, the users of the mods have brought it on themselves. But talking about it in open chat so flagrantly, what did you expect Square Enix to do? I'm sorry, that's just the nature of what it is. I think some of the people who are angry about this about the mods are the people who make money out of making mod commissions. Honestly, some of them are making crazy amounts of money. Yeah, they forgot the first rule. Dom said it right. First rule of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club, otherwise the police get you. It's exactly what happened in game. People talked about their mods. People, yeah, you show off your mods on social media, that's fine. You just don't talk about it in game. Then Square Enix has a reason to go after you. And they went nuclear and essentially sent, I'm assuming they sent cease and desist letters to all the modders to say, if you don't shut your mod down, we're going to take legal action. Which is essentially, they probably threatened with legal action. And as somebody who's been threatened with legal action before, as you already know, Susan Calloway threatened me with legal action. It's not a nice thing to be threatened with legal action. So, yeah, it's not a good thing. But I assume most of them just went, do you know what? I'm not putting up a fight against a multi-million-dollar company. So there you go. But I'll think I'll read the post. I'll read the post later. Do you not know the story about my Susan Calloway interaction? You don't know the story, no? Okay, do you want me to talk about it then? It's interesting. Okay, I'll talk about it. If you don't know about this, it's nothing to do with actually her controversy. It actually came about a year before her controversy that got her removed from the community. So yeah, so how do I start this? Okay, alright, I'll talk about it. I've already talked about this multiple times. I'll talk about it again. Let me show you the video. So I still have the video listed on my channel. It's actually still set to private. I don't think it's set to private. It's set to unlisted, I think. So it's going back a few years now. Did you know that? So I made the video, I think. I made the video in August 29th, 2022. Yeah, it's public. Yeah, so everybody can see it. I don't think it's just I don't think it's recommended to people anymore. So hang on a second. The following video? Yeah, here it is. So this is a video I made on August 29th, 2022, about a year before Susan Calloway got banned from the community, essentially, and got essentially ousted from everything to do with Final Fantasy XIV, and essentially just closed all our socials in regards to 14 after that. So I made a video called Susan Calloway in FF14. Essentially, this is a video exploring Susan Calloway's career in Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy XIV. And then I went into a investigative piece on the second half of it, exploring why Susan Calloway is not involved with FF14 anymore. And in order to make this video, I reached out to Susan Calloway directly to get her input Yeah, so Max remembers it. Right. So I reached out to Susan Calloway. I got her input on it via email. So I emailed like susan@susancalloway.com essentially. And I think that's her email. But the point is, there was the email that was publicly listed on her public email or public website. So I contacted her and I said, I'm making this video. And I literally just asked her directly, do you know why you're not involved at FF14 anymore? And her answer was she didn't know. So essentially, I talked to her, we did a back and forth, a couple of emails, and then I ended up making a video out of it. Now, the video gained a lot of traction very quickly. It's sitting at 30k views right now, but I think in its first few days it went to 20k views before I actually set it to private. And I'll tell you why now in a second. So, a few days after the video went live, Susan Calloway's fans ended up getting a hold of the video because everybody started to see it. And I was contacted by her personal assistant or her PA or her person in charge of her emails, apparently. This is apparently the person who partly got her into trouble as well. I'm not really sure, but they took great offense that I contacted Susan directly rather than going through them. And I was just like, I went back to them and said, I contacted Susan via a public email that was listed on her public website. I don't know why you're getting angry at me for using an email that you list as a contact for Susan Calloway. It's not my fault you didn't pick up on the email. If you're managing your email, that's your fault. I didn't say that, but I implied that. And apparently then Susan Calloway got in contact with me and she started getting very, very defensive about the video. So she started saying things about the video which told me essentially that she was watching this video out of context. And she was watching essentially this part. So if you make I made an investigative piece, and the investigative piece lasted for about 10 minutes. But if you watch a snippet of like 30 seconds of that, it's going to be taken out of context. So, like, literally, listen to the start of this, right? So, now, before I continue, I do not support the flaming or negative posting about any person. My video isn't about this either. It's merely to answer the question of why, based on community discussions and actions, my own queries with fellow players and fans, as well as that of Square Enix and Susan Calloway. I made this perfectly clear when I contacted her, and she took the video entirely out of context, which tells me that her fans ended up linking her snippets of the video, which she took a great offense to. I'm entirely freaking 100% certain she never watched this video. She watched snippets of it that people sent to her. So she took it out of context. So first, she wanted me to take the video down because she claimed she had ownership of all of the clips that were actually shown on it. Is for in FF14. So for example, this recording that some fan made at Distant Worlds of her singing a song, she claimed ownership of it. The Fox interview that I showed, she claimed ownership of that as well, saying that you have no rights to show these things. And I was like, they're listed on YouTube, they're in the public domain, I am allowed to use them. So it got pretty weird from there, but essentially then she came back to me threatening me with legal action if I didn't take the video down. So I decided, do you know what, I'm not getting into a drama fight with Susan Calloway, and I don't want her like attacking me or her fans attacking me with like copyright strikes or something like that. So I decided, you know what, I'll just private the video and I'll just get back to my life. So I privated the video and I said, I went back to her and said, I privated your video, good luck, bye bye, essentially. And she came back to me saying, I hope this doesn't deter you from interacting or working with me again in the future. I'm just like, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? You literally threatened me with legal action, and once I take the video down, you're all like, I hope we work together again in the future. And I'm like, go fuck yourself, Susan Calloway. Fuck off. So, yeah, the video was private then from that point. But then, a few days after her scandal started, I put the video back up at the urging of my friends. They were all like, put the video back up, put the video back up, put the video back up. And I was like, okay, I'm putting the video back up. So I put it back up. And as we know, that thing drew to its conclusion, but it just, that's my story of how she was freaking nuts. No wonder SE doesn't want to deal with her anymore. So if you haven't watched this video, the reason that she wasn't involved with FF14 anymore is because she was chosen to sing first in Distant Worlds a number of years ago by Nobu Uematsu. He heard her sing at a different venue and he's like, oh, she's brilliant. Will you sing our song at Distant Worlds? So she did that, and then she continued working with Uematsu, and then she was brought on because Uematsu was in charge of the music at the time for 14 1.0 and jumping into 2.0. She was brought in to sing Answers, and then the rest essentially is history. But essentially, around, what was it? Stormblood was Nobu Uematsu's pretty much last involvement with Final Fantasy XIV. After that, Soken took over fully for Shadowbringers. And Shadowbringers is where Susan Calloway dropped off the map, essentially. So she didn't have any relationship with Soken. I wonder if I can find the email. Do you know what? Give me a second. Let me do her full answer. Give me a second. I should have the email somewhere. Do you know that? I'm not going to show the legal threat or anything else. I'm not in the mood of doing that. Let me see. One second. Yeah, so here's the original one. Yeah, here's the original query, right? So you can see her email. Her email is susancalloway@susancalloway.com. So thank you for your email message. It's very nice to meet you. First, let me say I'm so honored that you're doing a video featuring my work with FF14. It's been such a privilege to be involved with Final Fantasy and Distant Worlds of FanFest 2, yada yada yada. I am so happy to hear that the community as a whole appreciates my work and missed me being involved. I missed it as well. I'm still involved with Distant Worlds and starting to join them, yada yada yada, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. And then, so yeah, as for singing more songs in FF14, I would love to. I have just not been asked to do so. My only guess is that my involvement with the game was directly related to Nobu when he was writing for FF14. When he stepped back from working on the music, I was not asked to be a part of things anymore. I don't know why, to be honest. I can only guess that he was just wanting to use some new singers instead. Soken is now in charge of this and I don't know him very well. I'm guessing he prefers a different style of singing. Your guess is as good as mine. And then she essentially just continues on about her own work and stuff like that, and I created a private community for FF, spewing her own spiel, essentially. That's partly why people didn't like Susan Calloway, to be honest. Yeah, so essentially that's the story. She just didn't have a relationship with anybody else other than Nobu Uematsu. Once Nobu Uematsu was no longer in the picture, like, Soken wasn't interested in having her sing. I'm assuming because he didn't like her. Is it fair to say it went to her head? I'll say so. MVC, one of the primary things that Susan Calloway did, I mentioned this in the video as well, so do you know what, let's watch the rest of this for a second. It's fully explained in the video, right? So Square Enix and that love Susan's 14 community, there is a majority that love Susan's vocals in the theme songs. But at the same time, she has her detractors. Many felt that Susan's vocal ability had peaked when it came to new theme songs. Others would speak about just how much freedom she has as a vocalist when it comes to singing a theme song like Dragon Song or Revolutions. Did she sing the songs her way, or how? They don't support this, as I've heard her perform live experience. As many gained. Another discussion that people had was regarding Susan herself, and how she was shown in the FF14 community.
Now this is something I've seen, and my friends
Susan,
have seen.
like many artists, is present on social media and other mediums. People noted in the beginning Susan had very positive interactions with the community. But somewhere down the line these interactions began to change. Susan would regularly speak about her solo career in interactions with others,
even when the subject was FF14.
Now, this is one of the main things, and it happened all the time. So, my friend Ale has a great story about this as well. She's one of the main ones that saw this. She was at one of the events. I'm fairly certain it was the first Eorzean Symphony. It's the VIP event after the Eorzean Symphony was a meet and greet with Yoshi P, Soken, and Susan Calloway. I went to that VIP event myself as well. From my experience, she interacted with me along with the others did. She was interested in the fact that I was from Ireland, and she said she had roots in Ireland, which I already knew about as well. But my friend Ale had a different experience with her, is that she was trying to talk to Soken, but Susan kept butting in and talking about herself and stuff like that while she was trying to talk to Yoshi P and Soken. So she kind of just throws her own career into everybody's face, or she did. And a lot of people were put off by this. And you'll see this now, examples in this video.
This even extended to live event meet and greet.
I went to this meet and greet myself as well. It was actually a casual interaction. I was there to see Benjamin, because Benjamin Nuss is my favorite pianist. So I was delighted to meet him finally. But I didn't have a negative
where she would discuss her solo career first, rather than the performance that she just made. I noted as I did things not even Final Fantasy.
This is an example here, right? So take a look at this Twitter post she did. I have a new store. Come and check out all my cool goodies, new items added weekly. The Susan anime is available on tote bags, hats, mouse pads. Shilling her merch. It's nothing to do with Final Fantasy, but she included Final Fantasy tags in it. Just trying to milk the fans, essentially. Just like, I have merch. Come check out my merch. And she did this a lot. This wasn't a one-time thing. She did this all the time. Like, with nothing to do with Final Fantasy or anything like that. She just constantly shilled her own merchandise and stuff like that. And people... Yeah, she got way over her head with this sort of stuff. Like, I can understand doing it sometimes, but she did it all the time. Even to fans standing in front of her who wanted to talk about Final Fantasy, she'd be shilling her own merch and her own music. So, it wasn't a nice thing. But anyway, this woman is now irrelevant to us. We don't deal with her anymore. We don't do your kind here anymore. Yeah, they essentially just quietly let her go, didn't they? Like, they didn't say anything. I remember when the drama started, and yeah, how it started, right? So the drama all came out, everybody was jumping on the bandwagon regarding this, and everybody was just like, I'm sure Square Enix has to take action at some point, right? It all happened behind the scenes. And I know this because I constantly look at the Distant Worlds website and the schedules for concert events like that. She was scheduled to play at some North American concerts, but her name was quietly removed, and Answers, for example, was removed from the roster of songs just quietly in the background. They didn't announce it. They just changed the song lineup behind the scenes. So she was essentially just quietly pushed off the cliff, you know? But yeah, that's enough about Susan Calloway. This isn't a stream about Susan Calloway. I want to talk about The Rising. So, right, fresh faced, let's do The Rising. The wandering minstrel is in search of inspiration. You're always in search of inspiration, aren't you, my guy? Well now, if it isn't my adventurer friend Wyrm, it can only be a blessing from the navigator. We should meet again here and now. No problem, Shizu. I'm happy to tell it. I've told that story a lot now, but I'm happy to keep telling it, to be honest. It's a funny story, thinking about it, to be honest. Watching somebody fall on their face like that when it's deserved. That was a bit far. That was a bit far. You see, I've been struggling to find inspiration for a new song. Struggling to find inspiration for a new song to perform this Rising. I have in mind to speak with the locals of their tales, for which I could able to use able assistance. Would you be willing to accompany me? Yeah, I'll accompany you. Where you want to go? I'm assuming he wants to go to the New World. During the Rising, we remember those we lost in the Calamity, even as we turn our attention to a brighter future. It's my hope to hear tales inspires one, and I'll look around. Okay, so I'm assuming this is going to lead us to... Oh, we're questing. Okay. What's the harm? It's a good question. What is the harm? You get yourself killed. Oh, he wants to be an adventurer, huh? Send him out to hunt some rats. Aw, a budding adventurer. Let him find some rats or something. Oh, it's a girl. Sorry. Okay. The children in this game, you can't really identify what sex they are. Can't be able to sign up to much older. Yeah. She wants to be an adventurer, but I feel you, little girl, I feel you. You all want to be adventurers. We'd love to be adventurers, but unfortunately we have these pesky things called laws and police that stop us from being adventurers. Sad face. Oh, that's a look. What's that look? That was a real Lalafell looking look. The little co's bent on becoming an adventurer, but I said no and sent her on our way. I always liked this character. She's gonna talk! Sweet! I can't help but worry. She doesn't strike me as the sort to give up easily. It wouldn't surprise me if she tried to sneak out anyways. Yeah, so she used to be an adventurer. I can't pronounce her name, but she used to be an adventurer. Do you reckon to keep an eye on Rikta? I'll do it myself, but I can't leave the tavern. You can never leave the bloody tavern, can you? Okay. Let's go leave the tavern. Is she coming with us? Please say she's coming with us. Come on. Please say so. No? Dang it, she's not coming with us. Shit. Okay, I was hoping she would. Yeah, so this character, her name, I can't pronounce her freaking name. Her name is far too complicated for me to pronounce. Jesus. I don't like this. I really don't like this. Why does it keep spitting me out in random places? It pisses me off. Yeah, so here she is over here. So, yeah, so she used to be an adventurer. She lost her friends in the Calamity, I think. She ended up drunk outside. Yeah, so she ended up drinking her sorrows outside here during the aftermath of the Calamity. She was picked up one day by Belderon, and he brought her in, sobered her up, and she just ended up working here and never left. I don't even know how to start pronouncing that name. Okay. I don't even know how to start. C Doge B. C Dodge the B, C Dodge the B, what is with that? That is probably the most convoluted bloody Mikotei name I've ever seen. I thought Rogan names were bad, but Jesus. She dodged the bees. That's a good name. I like that name. She dodged the bees. Where am I going? I'm going this way. Okay. So she ran outside. She's going to be hunting moles, I think. Okay, let's go catch up with the girl. Did they do anything different for the dress up or anything? Or? Yes, it's... Oh, just telling us about the thing. Oh, I need to record all this as well. The Rising is an important event. It has lore of the past, which I'm always up for recording. You always get these little hints inside The Rising. Stories about times gone by. And the fact that we actually saw her talking for the first time. Jesus. That's crazy. Let's see. Okay, recorded for posterity. Alright, let's go. So we're looking for. Oh, what's she got to sell? You got anything for me to sell? Oh yeah, that's the It's the Why can't I remember her name? Minfilia. It's the Minfilia lookalike. If you haven't seen this character before, yeah, Isilia, yeah, essentially. So this is what Minfilia looked like in 1.0 before she got her style change for 2.0. So that's why they put her character here like that. So we'll always remember. Simple maybe gamer. Oh, what are you doing here? The Yellowjacks are keeping constant watch at every city gate. She's already gone, isn't she? Or am I? Oh, I'm supposed to talk to him. Okay, or her. Sorry, her. Jeez, that was bad. The lowlands of Velocity await you on the other side of Tempest Gates. Yeah, I've been here before. Why don't you know who I am? She was on the heels of a Mikote peddler, so at a glance one might think the parent of child. Ah, clever! She snuck out just by pretending she was the child of somebody else. I boarded a bus that way when I was 5 years old. Good times. This area always makes me nostalgic, you know that? Very nostalgic area. Oh god, now you just want my story about how I boarded a bus on my own at 5 years old, don't you? Oh god, here we go. Okay. Okay, we're doing this then. I'm going full lore mode. Give me a second. Give me a second. This happened like 34 years ago. Give me a second. Okay. It's a good story. I like to share this story. I share this story whenever I interact with my extended family. So it's a good story. I need a map to properly share it though. So give me a second. Okay, we're looking for... Where's O'Connell Street? O'Connell Street, Earl Street. There we go. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's time for Wyrm lore. So, when I was 5 years old, I went shopping in the city centre of Dublin with my mother and my sister. So, this is O'Connell Street. This is the main street of Dublin. It looks very different today. Like the spire wasn't there, for example. The streets were actually a lot... Well, the roads were actually a lot wider. The streets were much narrower, for example. And it was a very scruffy town back in the day. But the point is, we went shopping in the city centre. And we went to this shop, which used to be here. And it's not here anymore. Shit. Oh, it's down here. Sorry. No, it's Guinness is still there. Of course Guinness is still there. So we went down to this... fuck, where is it? Down here. Yeah, I went to this shop here called Guinness. Guinness is one of the big... It's not a big store, but it's one of the older popular stores in Dublin. People buy their curtains and their linens and stuff in there. So it was a very popular stop, and largely it still is. So one weekend, we travel into town. My mother and my sister walking down this street, and we go into Guinness. Now, Guinness was packed top to bottom with people. So when we were moving around, I could barely move around. I couldn't remember that. It was just people on top of people on top of people. And my mother said to my sister, hold on to him. Don't let him go. It's very busy in here. So she held on to me, but eventually she let go of my hand. Now, Guinness extends on this floor. It has a basement area. It has the floors up here as well for shopping and stuff like that. So I lost her. I lost my hand. And I ended up just like, oh my god, where is everybody? So I ended up wandering around the store looking for them. I went down to the basement. They weren't there. I went back up here. Went there. Went upstairs. All the floors. Couldn't find them at all. And I went back down to the ground floor. I can remember this day like it happened yesterday. So the place was still mad busy and I couldn't find anybody. So eventually I walked outside the shop And I'm standing outside the shop at this point just going, where is my mother? Where is my sister? And I'm 5 years old. I didn't really fully have a grasp on everything, of course. So I started to think maybe they went home without me. So I knew how to get home at this point because I'd gone home on the bus with my mother and my family countless times at this point. I spent a lot of nights, unfortunately, in this city centre. So I knew how to get home. I just didn't have the money. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go home. Because I can't find Ma and I can't find my sister. So I walked away from the store, walked down towards O'Connell Street, walked all the way over. The Lewis wasn't there at the time, so there was no Lewis there. Walked across the road over here and started walking down towards the bus stop, which is down at the other end of O'Connell Street. So I'm walking my way down, walking my way down, walking my way down. And I got the bus around here or something in order to get home. Now, I hopped on the double-decker bus, as you see right there. I can remember the driver wasn't really looking at me, but I didn't mean it at the time. I was standing at the bus stop on my own. Now, think about this for a second. There was loads of people around. I'm standing at the bus stop on my own, and nobody batted an eyelid. But I happened to board the bus at the same time as a family with a bunch of children. So I literally blended in with the family while the mother paid for... Well, didn't pay for anything, actually, because we had a different system back then, which I'll tell you about in a second. So I ended up boarding the bus and sitting on my own down at the bottom at the back of the double-decker bus. So it didn't take very long for me to get home. So it takes me like 20 minutes on the bus in order to get home. But I'm sitting at the back of the double-decker. And back then, double-deckers had a ticket inspector. It was a guy with a machine that he rolls around just like punching tickets in order to sell you tickets while you're sitting down. This was the old system back then. And he's going around the bus giving out everybody their tickets and stuff like that. But I'm still sitting at the back of the bus with this crowd of people. And I'm like, I don't have a ticket. What am I going to do? But he just passed by me entirely because the kids were sitting around me as well. So I think I just got bypassed. And I'm just like, great. And I continued on the bus. And then I ended up getting off the bus around the corner from where I live. I got off with a few other people as well, so that nobody must have batted an eyelid either. And I proceeded to go around the corner, headed up to my house on my own. Now, I'm approaching my house at this point. My house is a few doors away. And I'm like, I started to get nervous at this point. And I'm like, I think I should put on some music. Actually, while I'm doing this. Yeah. So, I'm a few doors away from my house, and I started to get nervous. I'm just going, oh no, Ma's going to kill me. Ma's going to kill me. What am I going to do? And I knew my sister was home as well. I have 3 sisters at this point, so my other sister was actually at home. And I was like, oh no, she's going to be mad as well. So I decided not to go home. Instead, I crossed the road and went to my friend Michael's house. So I knocked at his door and said, Michael, you coming out? We played in his garden for the next... hour to it's for the next hour or so, I think. Now, I hadn't told anybody where I was. Now, we switch back to the events that are happening in town. Essentially, all hell is breaking loose now at this point. So, as you can imagine, my mother was pretty frantic by the fact that my sister lost me. And my sister was pretty upset as well. They looked all over the shop for me. They told the staff. The place was still buzzing at this point, so there was constant amounts of people in it. So they're moving all around the shop just going, where the heck is this child? And eventually my mother and my sister end up outside because I have nowhere to be found. And they're thinking all sorts now at this point. They're thinking like, am I lost? Was I kidnapped? Eventually they called the police and essentially like... whatever an APB was to say there's a child missing from Guineas, and literally the whole of Dublin knew I was missing now at this point. Or at least the Gardaí of Dublin knew I was missing at this point. A child went missing in Guineas. Keep an eye out. So it was funny. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. So essentially my mother is in hysterics and crying her eyes out outside the shop. And by some weird stroke of luck, my Auntie Rita and her son were actually walking down the street as well. And they ended up running into her, and my mother is still in hysterics. So my Auntie Rita is calming my mother down at this point. And essentially they didn't know what to do. They couldn't ring my house either, because my house didn't have a phone at the time. This was a time where dial-up was still a popular thing. Or even dial-up, like, and a lot of people didn't even have dial-up. A lot of people didn't have telephones. I didn't have a telephone when I was 5 years old. So they couldn't ring my house to say what's going on. So my mother, luckily for her, she always keeps phone numbers for everybody she knows in a little black book that she had in her wallet or her handbag. So my auntie says to her now at this point, because the police are looking for me, and my Auntie Rita is like, he couldn't have possibly gone home by chance, could he? And she's like, he's 5 years old, how would he get home? And she said, maybe you should just ring home, like ring Barbara, Michael's mother, essentially, and see if he ended up getting home. And it's like, alright, I'll try. So my mother rang Barbara, and she's like, Barbara, you're not gonna believe this. David's lost. He's gone. He went missing again. He said, I don't know where he is. And my mother's in hysterics on the phone, and Barbara's just literally listening to this, just listening to her hysterics, just going, and what are you talking about? David's right outside the door. And she's like, I'm looking at him right now. He's in the garden playing with Michael. And I didn't know any of this was going on now at this point. But my mother was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So she told the Gardaí then. Apparently he went home. So they made a beeline to go home at this point. Barbara came out and said, your mother is going to be very angry with you. And I'm just like, oh no. It's caught up with me now, hasn't it? My 5-year-old me is just like, maybe they'll just forget about it. And they didn't. I didn't get in trouble, to be fair. I did get asked to fully explain myself, though. So I fully explained what happened. And my family was pretty much in disbelief that I was able to literally walk from here, cross a main street, walk all the way to the bus stop, and take the bus home. So they were partly proud of me for that, to be able to have enough sense to get home. But yeah, ever since then, my mother never let go of me in town. Whenever we went to town after that, she held on to me by the scruff. So she held on to me, and she never, anytime we walked into a shop, she held me by the scruff and just like, I'm not fucking letting you go. Fuck that. But yeah, that's essentially my little story of how 5-year-old me got lost and headed home. So, oh, it's an interesting scene. Alright, but yeah, story time over. Let's continue on with the Rising. Oh, he got caught by the Yellow Jackets. Oh no. Okay, what do you got to say for yourself, little one? They saw straight through my disguise. Your disguise? Oh, the disguise was he was probably palling around with the Mikote, wasn't he? Is the Mikote around, or? I assume they went on their way, didn't they? I can stop that music now, can't I? Yeah, okay. Right, let's continue on with the... What's he got to say? Ah, just let her go adventuring. Come on. She wants to go out. We all did this. The Yellow Jacket will know who I am. What brings you here today? I love her accent. I remember a yo-yo, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I remember her. From 2.0, I think. From the Marauders questline, isn't it? I think. What is it you want so badly you'd risk your life for this? Right, what is it? Come on. There's something I need to see. It doesn't matter if it's dangerous. I have to go. So she wants to see something. Okay, what do you want to see? I have a feeling what she wants to see. She wants to see the Bahamut explosion or something, didn't she? The Mega Flare. Rather than becoming an adventurer, why not employ the services of one? I was about to say, why don't you mind your own damn business? She can be an adventurer if she wants, but she's still too young. I'll give her a few years. Yeah, I think that's probably best. We don't only do it for money, little one. You don't know much about adventurers, do you? Yeah, why are you talking for me? If you're happy with this humble vagrant, as long as I get paid. I'm not saying that's with child. Fuck that. Who says that? Who'd say that's with child? You can count on me. Of course you can count on me. Jesus. Who'd say as long as I get paid to a child? Jesus Christ. You'd have to be something in order to say that. Did anybody else say that? Did anybody else say as long as I get paid? Come on. Fess up. Did you say that? Yeah, the minstrel better pay this. Yeah. What exactly is it you need, and to be able to help you all the better? Yeah. Right, so tell me what it is you're after. It's a lighthouse here in Lower Lanosia. It's named for one of the 12. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I heard a rumor from a kid in town, you see. He told me that ghosts appeared there during the Rising. That's interesting. Supposedly lighthouse keepers who died in the calamity and they spirit children away to the realm of the dead, but it's got to be nonsense and I want to prove it. Your character said that, but she only works for money in her lore. Now, I can respect that. I just don't have the heart to tell a child that, unfortunately. My character is far too nice for that. I'm too much of a softie for saying an answer like that. Being a cannoneer, I'm more than blasting things from a distance. I think that's the first time I've ever... Actually, that's interesting. Look at that for a second. Being a cannoneer, I'm more blasting things from a distance. So, she's a yellow jacket who uses a gun. Is that what they call themselves? Do they call themselves cannoneers? Because I always, like, they never really explains, like, because I know the yellow jackets had, they use rifles and stuff like that as well, but I wasn't really sure what they called themselves. So they call themselves cannoneers. That's good. I like that. See, new lore. You get your little tidbits every once in a while. This is why I record all this stuff. So I need to record that as well. Yeah, it's around here. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay. I have a feeling I missed some dialogue. Did I miss some dialogue? I missed some dialogue. I did. I missed something. Yeah, I did. I missed something. There it is. I missed this. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. One sec. I'm nearly done. Nearly done. Okay. I always thought they were musketeers. So did I, actually. I thought they were going to be called musketeers, but cannoneer is good as well. Tank that uses bazooka. Imagine them with a bazooka on their shoulder. What's your name, adventurer? Alright, so if I tell her my name, she's going to recognize who I am, right? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. The event quests treat you like a new adventurer. So they're scripted for new adventurers as well, because they're level 15. So, that makes sense. Although, Ioyo recognized us, so we got that hint. So we're going to Oscon's torch. Yes, that's what I saw it was. So, Oscon's torch. Oh, Jesus, that's quick. So we're not going to, we're not going to the New World, no? Because the Rising event had nothing but, like, it had... Wait. So we're not going to the New World. Because it had Wukalamat and Galul Jaja on the artwork. Level 15 players can't go to the New World. That's a good point. Damn it. Okay. Sorry. I don't know why I thought that. Okay. Yeah, that was silly. But still. Like, maybe they could have bumped it up to level 100 or something, or level 90 or something, you know? You never know. Although, that would exclude new players, wouldn't it? I forgot all about that. That would have been cool. Okay. Alright, we're going to Oscon's Torch, and it's literally right there. Okay. Good times. I still remember 2.0 early access, or not, what's it called, early access? Yeah, we got a few days before everybody started in 2.0, and I remember questing my way around. I remember a bunch of us went after this. A few people died. It was funny. I enjoyed it. Oh, you was coming with us as well. Sweet. Hello, my dear. It's a vital river trade. Yeah. A river and there's some strange animal. Yeah, that's weird. I have a feeling the ghost. She's probably thinking of the Mones over here. Before her parents died in the calamity. Aww. Wait. How old is this kid? Jesus, what? Okay. I hate this now. It's starting to. It's really showing in the dialogue these days. The calamity, from our perspective, was like what? It happened 17 fucking years ago from our perspective, I think. But from their perspective, it literally just happened because it's a level 15 quest. Oh, I'll never get used to that. This child literally has not aged. Okay. Limion Shoals, I take it. Okay. Oh, that's the orphanage, is it? I don't remember this place. Okay, so we're heading to Oscon's Embrace. Alright, let's go. You remember playing the open beta on PS3? Yeah, I remember that as well. I didn't play on PS3, but I remember people having... There was issues on the PS3 when it first launched, wasn't there? As I recall. Although, to be fair, there was a few issues when it started. Oh, look! Somebody with my name. Alright, oh, we're not going this way anymore. Oh, we're going this way. Okay. Sorry, I thought we were going the other way. Oh, yeah, the lighthouse is over there. Sorry. Okay. You bought your PS3 and your PS4 for 14. That's dedication. Although, to be fair, I'm not one to talk as well, because I bought a PS5 just to play Final Fantasy VII. So... The answer was yes. The PS3 was outdated by the time 14 came out. But to be fair, any MMO that releases on a console experiences the same issues. It held the game back for an extent, but after it released, essentially the PS3 was shut down at the same point that the PS4 version came out. But it allowed them to actually push the game further because they didn't have the limitations of the PS3 on them anymore. Alright, so we're at Oscon's Embrace. Is this the lighthouse she was talking about? I don't think this is the lighthouse. You wonder when has the PS4 support not stopped? I'm surprised at that, to be honest. Considering there's already talks about the PS6. I could have sworn PS4 already stopped. Hang on. It is still support. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. I suppose it's a very cheap way for people to play 14 as well, actually. Very cost-effective way. Wouldn't be the best way, but... Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention. What about you, Wyrm? Do you like being an adventurer? I wouldn't want to be anything else, of course not. The PS5 players only just surpassed the PS4 players, or so I heard. That makes sense, Shizu, primarily because when PS4 came out, we were still in the middle of the boom times, so there were so many more players coming in at that point, so most of them would have came in with PS4s as well. So it makes sense that they would have been a high number. It's entirely possible, NPC, they might drop it for 8.0. Like, because I'd say they want to make advances with 8.0, but they might have to drop the PS4. My parents liked it, what they did, I think. When the calamity struck, they didn't run away. They were noble souls, Miss Dorothy said. She promised to tell me everything one day, but I don't know how to feel when they're gone, and I can't find the words. Aw, poor thing. Aw, poor thing. Well, they are now supporting the Xbox Series S, which will hold back the future too. Is FF14 on Xbox now, is it? Maybe I just forgot about that. I've never had an Xbox, so I wouldn't know. That guy has a very Rogaden name. Look at that Rogaden name. Whoa. Yeah, I've never had an Xbox, to be honest. So, I'm assuming it's the Xbox Series X, I'm assuming is the previous version. I don't know, unfortunately. I'm not really much about it. Why is there no music? Alright. You see the lighthouse? Yeah, that's the lighthouse over there. Along with the ship that's never going to be finished. Oh, look at our earrings. Look. I only noticed our earrings now. Carbuncle earrings. Why do I remember her being gifted those for some reason? Her parents were lighthouse keepers, weren't they? That's why she's out here. Yeah. I knew it. Okay. My father and mother were lighthouse keepers, you see. But they disappeared during the calamity and were never found. Aww. When I heard the rumor, I thought maybe, just maybe, they were the ones haunting the lighthouse. So that's why you want to prove the rumor wrong. Aww. That makes sense. The calamity affected so many people in Eorzea. Like, people underestimate what the calamity was because we didn't really see it. But the calamity wiped out a lot of people. It killed so many. It altered the landscape to be almost unrecognizable for many. Like, if you played 1.0 and you jumped into 2.0, you're like, oh my god, the landscape has changed so much. And it's because of the calamity. Game does still look decent. To be honest, Final Fantasy XIV looks amazing from my perspective. I'm not really hung up on graphics, but Final Fantasy XIV still has amazing graphics in my eyes. But they shouldn't make the graphics too heavy, primarily because it prices out a lot of players who can't afford to have a high-prime rig for playing games like this. So, the graphics update that 7.0 brought around are very good. I enjoy the graphics update. The game can run on a potato, which is exactly what we want. It allows you to get much more players. I see frozen in a splash. Oh, yeah. This area, on top of the tidal wave washing away big swaths of land, a piece of Dalamud came crashing down near yonder. Correct? They say it caused Aether to gush out of the land and crystallize all at once. I don't think that's a piece of Dalamud, though. I was fairly certain that was a Mega Flare. Although it could easily be a piece of Dalamud. Your company laptop had a 360? Are you serious? Holy crap. They seem to have a pretty good system when in-game cutscenes look really nice. Just wonder if we had a bit more animations. Most of the canned ones I've seen 500 times. You make a fair point. The animations. They did try a bunch of new things in Shadowbringers, if you remember. There were certain cutscenes in Shadowbringers where we're sitting in our inn room. We're sitting at our table. We pick up a cup and we sip out of the cup. I remember seeing that and just going, holy crap. They're really pushing the boundaries with these cutscenes now, aren't they? But yeah, like, certain interactions need to be dressed up. So, certain, like, we have so many gestures that are emotes now, but we don't use them in cutscenes. So, they really need to start using some other gestures and making new ones. Yeah, the 5.3 ending cutscenes were super good. Yeah, exactly. I remember that cutscene. Alright, we're at the lighthouse. Oscon's Embrace. Alright. Well now, if it ain't guests, what's bringing you to the torch? Someone here to see you, Lighthouse Keeper. Oh, it's a fisherman, is it? Ghost during the Horizon. I've not seen or heard about such things at any lighthouse I know. It's certainly the sort of place that children might believe haunted, though. Might be someone mistook me or some laundry for a spectre. Fair. That's a fair point. So father and mother weren't ghosts after all. But I must say, I'm surprised to see Raktalk's little girl here. Your parents showed me the ropes when I was starting out as a keeper. Oh, that's cool. They had charge of Limlane's ring yonder. Nowadays, it's on a little isle, but there used to be a stretch of land connecting to it. A dangerous stretch it was, rife with nasty beasts. You'd need to hire adventurers, the grizzled ones at that, just to deliver supplies. If you knew my parents, please tell me about them. Alright, come on. They left me in Limsa during the calamity and died in the tidal wave. Why did they go out there even though it was so dangerous? What was going through their minds? I want to know. It's a good question. I was stationed elsewhere at the time, so I only read this in a report. But your folks did everything they could to protect Limlane's ring. Oh, cutscenes. Oh, very nice. They built a breakwater using anything and everything they had on hand, but in the end there was no stopping such a monstrous wave. Countless souls went missing when it struck, and the Maelstrom mounted search and rescue operations. A joint effort, but I'm afraid they were never found. Know though that your folks didn't die in vain. By manning their lighthouse to the very end that day, they guided many vessels safely to shore and saved many lives. They were really noble souls. Aww. At least you got some closure, I think. Aw, she's gonna learn a bit more about her parents then. That's nice, I like that. I'm assuming this is where I put things to an end. Okay, alright, she's off and away. Or we're all off and away, apparently. Oh, I spent the night as well, apparently. Okay. Yeah, see, that sort of stuff. Nice stretch there, exactly. Oh, still here, are you? I got up early to look at the lighthouse where my father and mother used to be. For the longest time, I felt as though they'd abandoned me. Aww. I wanted to see them one more time, so I could ask them why they had to go. Yeah, kids just wouldn't understand. Unfortunately, they wouldn't just... They're too young to understand. In the end, there weren't any ghosts. Still, I'm glad I could learn about my parents. It made me realize that I want to become someone who helps others, like them and like you. She's going to be a lighthouse keeper, isn't she? Or an adventurer. Come on, say adventurer. Oh, sun's coming up. Oh, that's a view. Woohoo! That's nice. That's a good view. You're welcome, little one. I love her eyes. She has really nice eyes. A yo-yo is like, oh, I'm exhausted. Oh, that's a nice shot. You gotta get screenshots like this because you can't really access them again. Alright, I want to record that. And now I'm back in town. Let me travel on my own. Oh my god. Okay. They're all yours is what I ended with. Okay, they're all yours. They're all yours. They're all yours. Did I go too far? Oh no, I didn't go far enough. Okay. Alright, so I need to record all of this. Put that there. Record all this. Yeah, so I got some good lore tidbits out of it. So I got confirmation that the Yellow Jackets riflemen are called cannoneers. So that's confirmation, that's good. I got a story about the Calamity, which is always good. I always love to get one of them. You learned about what some of the common folk did during the Calamity in the face of it. People tried everything they could in order to protect others, like her parents did. But that tidal wave that hit the island was actually just too much. Valbrand was actually severely damaged by that tidal wave, which is why Valbrand looks very different than it did. That tidal wave washed over everything. Limsa was actually pretty badly damaged by that tidal wave. So that lighthouse didn't really stand up to it. This city in general didn't really stand up to it that well. A yo-yo. Ended up being here along Johnson and Spence's, but I'm glad we did it. So am I. I'm glad. Thank you for coming with me, both of you. You're very welcome. Now, where's her orphanage? It would be cool to actually get dungeons like that, but I suppose it's a bit too much effort to put in. Especially just for an event. The anchor yard. Oh, this is going to be different now that I think about it. Every Rising event, as far as I'm aware, has started and ended in Ul'dah. So I got a screenshot every year of the Rising with the fireworks over Ul'dah. So is it going to be like fireworks over Limsa now? This is different. Alright, let's make our way there. I don't know why I'm checking the map. I know my way around this city like the back of my hand. For some reason now, looking at that area, I have an itch to watch the dancer cutscene again, because I always love that cutscene. I think I'll watch that. The best thing about this is that it goes on and on for the entire event. Alright, Minstrel, what do you say? Are you going to take me out into a dream space again? So we'll see what Yoshi V has to say to us now, won't we? Yet the tale may occasionally find those in need, such as those of the lighthouse keepers, whose courage and sacrifice have come to guide the children years after their passing. Thank you, Wyrm, not only after granting Riska's wish, but also providing me with inspiration as well. While we wait for the special fireworks. Oh, the special fireworks, okay. Oh, the rising one, yeah, of course. Tell me more about your excursion. Okay. Ooh. Oh, everybody's gathering up. Do I see any faces that I know? I see the blacksmith, yeah. I'll have to recheck these screenshots again. I saw a bunch of faces there, I just couldn't read them all right away. I recognize her. Oh. Oh, he's gonna be doing a song. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get... During... Here we go again. Okay. We're in the ethereal sea. I think we are. Huh? Puppy! What's this puppy doing here? Did Yoshi P get a puppy or something? Yellow jacket. Oh, hello. What's all this? Aww. This is a world that exists outside your reality. Could it be a dream? A flight of fancy conjured by your worldly mind, perhaps? Perhaps not. Dude, you've dragged me here like 12 times. It's a pleasure to meet you again. As I have in the past, I have beckoned you here that I might express my gratitude. For long years, we have walked together with you on this grand adventure. It's a never-ending journey, one that shall continue tomorrow as surely as it does today. The most natural of things. Along the way, I've endeavored to keep my gaze firmly fixed upon the future. Okay, so this is a message from him directly. Yeah. This is him talking. Of late, however, I've been keenly reminded that we must occasionally look back upon the path we walked, that we might remember the lessons we learned. Yeah, this is the controversy. In the course of our adventures, it seems that I have grown... To learn from successes and failures both. To forge ahead with humility and sincerity. This is what I've resolved to do at journey's beginning, and I resolve to do so anew. Nothing would please us more than to continue having you at the side of the road ahead. I think their minions are actually the developers. I'm surprised one of them's not a fox. Now, the time's come for this vision to end. It's time for your eyes to open. Off you go. But as we continue to make our way, I pray that you still have the occasion to meet again. See you next year, dude. Fare you well. See you, dudes. And fade out. That was a good message. I like that. I missed the song though, didn't I? We always miss the song. Most happenings in our lives have no bearings on the fate of the world. But you, my friend, gather up so much forgotten tales, see them delivered. In doing so, bring joy, and as a token of great gratitude, I dedicate this to you, this song. Jeez, I can't read. Oh my god. Alright, so here's the song. Okay. Ooh, damn it. Wow, nice. In gleaming gold the sun doth rise, the boundless sky it calls. In silver pale the path of men. Oh, I can't read it that fast. So far away the guiding light that you do now espy, with the flame of life their warts impart to comfort and inspire. Take heart, my friend, for here we stand, and so we shall remain. Your destination reach you shall, by memory's refrain. Not bad. There may be times when you face great hardships, and the weight is more than you can bear. Dude, I've already done that. In such a time, I bid you remember this. No matter how great your burdens, the tales that you have gathered shall ever be your strength, a beacon to light your way in the darkness. He's not wrong. That's a hell of a display. I seem to remember they used the display before, though, didn't they? Okay. So that's the Rising. Enjoyed that. Have to say, I enjoyed that. I could have done with it being a bit longer, but I enjoyed that. Delightful dozen. That's something to talk about now in a second. Hang on. Let me record all this first. So, let's see. Yeah, I like that message from Yoshi P. I always love those messages during the Rising directly from him. But you can tell this message is like everything that's happened over the past year has been a learning experience for him and the team as well. Like, Final Fantasy XIV is no longer in its growth stage. It's in, well, you have to maintain it now, essentially. So, it's good that he had that realization as well. I mean, it's not good that it's happening, of course, but it was going to happen eventually. Every MMO, every MMO reaches this stage. They all grow to a certain point, and then they reach maximum entropy essentially, and then just either just continue on like that, or down you go. Right now, 14 has gone down, so it needs to stabilize now at this point. But still, that was good. My next thing was, I can remember in 2.0 where all of these events used to give titles, but you don't get titles from events anymore, and you rarely get titles from many different fights or events or stuff like that. So titles are very few and far between. I mean, I can get it because you can only make so many titles. If you make too many, you're going to run out of ideas for making titles. So I can understand that. It's just, you kind of wish that they had titles, right? I mean, I certainly do. At least I think it has grown bigger than they ever thought it would. Yeah, to be fair, they didn't think 2.0 would be the success that it was. Don't forget, 1.0 was a failure. So they wanted to just at least break even during 2.0. They wanted to just kind of a redemption. They didn't expect it to be the biggest MMO in the world. And it still is. It's still the biggest MMO in the world. WoW is not the biggest MMO in the world anymore. It's Final Fantasy XIV. So, yeah. And it's one of their big money makers as well. It's something they just need to maintain it. They need to look after it. They shouldn't take it for granted. And I'm going to be honest, I think they took it for granted. I think because their development team focused on another game as well, which is fair, because if the developers have to work on the same game forever and ever and ever, they're going to get bored, they're going to get burned out. Working on a different game, that's actually good for them. It happens in other MMOs as well. EVE Online is a great example. They did, like, the developers CCP of EVE Online, they didn't expect EVE Online to last more than a few years. And they didn't expect to be working on it after 20 years. But here they are. So, that's an example. So, that's just what it is. This is just the nature of the situation. I mean, they have one of the biggest games in the world on one of the biggest IPs in the world. It's just they need to properly look after it now at this point because its growth spurt has ended. It's over 10 years old, well over 10 years old. They just now need to be responsible and properly look after it. Oh, these are cute. Let me get a picture of them. I think this all represents the developers. They're cute though, aren't they? Right, so what now? What now? Let me turn off some music real quick and turn on some other stuff. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, there we go. Alright, so what now? I think I should go over some... There's a couple of things I wanted to go over actually, so don't need that anymore. Off we go. Let's see. So, the latest things in the news at the moment. So, FanFest is... I'm very happy that FanFest is finally announced. As most of you would already know, I'm the administrator of this community here, which is the FF14 FanFest Discord EU, dedicated to bringing players together during FanFest and other similar events, so nobody goes to the events on their own, essentially. Very popular community, been administering it since 2017, and it's been very successful, so getting a date for Berlin, which is July 25th next year, is very good news for me. Just means I have a lot to do now, because I have to organize the FedEU for the FanFest, but I also need to organize a gathering party for the FedEU during Berlin as well. So the night before we have a traditional gathering where everybody meets and greets, listen to music, do a bunch of random stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm planning something else for that one, something special. Not really sure what I'm going to do yet, it's a year away, so I'll think of something. There was something else I wanted to do as well, actually, that I saved it specifically. I just was like, alright, I'm going to click on this link, I'm going to click on this link. I didn't click on this link because I wanted to do it on the stream just to see if there's something I want to read. So, 8.0 feels late? You're not wrong in thinking that. A lot of people do think so. Guesstimate, very rough guesstimate, is that we get it in December, I think, next year. Maybe. Perhaps. Let's see. Right, so what's the story? So, Tales Under the Golden Sun. The Stars Betwixt. Oh, it's an Alexandrian story. And the other story is coming out at the 5th of next month, and the 12th and the 19th, and then we got others. Okay. So, oh. Let's read this one, actually. I'm interested in this one. So, let me turn on music a bit more to set the ambience. Heavy black clouds hung over the skies of Alexandria. The people's faces were a mirror of the somber heavens, and for a moment it seemed as if the entire kingdom had been swallowed by endless night. Amid this solemn vigil, the royal knight's second command, Zelenia Triantafrilli, regarded the mourners with uncovered eye. Oh, so this is before. This is from the Ninth Reflection during the storm surge. Each in the procession held a white flower, its petals shimmering faintly in the gloom, threads of light weaving a path through shadow. Yet all knew there would be no hope at trail's end. The castle air was thick with the heavy scent of flowers and a chorus of sorrowful voices. In the cold throne room, the people of Alexandria gathered before a coffin that held Queen Sphene Alexandrios 14, now in eternal repose. A ruler who had loved her people dearly and been dearly loved in return. This was her royal funeral, and the kingdom had only just begun to grieve. "Whatever shall we do without her majesty?" muttered the broad-shouldered man, clad in iron armour, his voice uncharacteristically frail. Zelenia let out a long sigh, holding down her chestnut hair against the tugging of the damp wind. We safeguard the people she so dearly loved. Such is our duty. You must remember that, Lord Captain, Zelenia reminded him quietly. You're right, of course. Even so, she really captures the Beatrix. She really does sound like Beatrix from Final Fantasy IX. Otis Valona, Lord Captain of the Royal Knights of Alexandria, faltered as the words died in his throat. Zelenia, meanwhile, remained silent. As she watched the tearful mourners cling to one another, her thoughts drifted to the late Queen. She recalled her appointment as Princess Sphene's personal guardian. The young girl had been overjoyed, saying it felt as though she'd gained an older sister. I vowed to shield her from all harm that day. Then there was Sphene's coronation, a hasty affair carried out before she had time to mourn her parents. Zelenia had held the trembling child, offering what little comfort she could. I swore anew to keep Her Majesty safe, even should it cost my life. Each remembrance was a fresh assault on her spirit, yet the night held fast. Her bearing as steady as ever, she could not weep, not yet, not whilst the truth was still unclear. Whether her doubts were born of denial, or of instincts honed through years of the battlefield, even she could not say. But recent oddities had lingered and coalesced into a question Zelenia could no longer ignore. Was Sphene truly dead? And the answer is no, she's in stasis, so whatever's in that coffin is not her. The first seeds of doubt were sown several days before the funeral. Zelenia and Otis were on their way to the Queen's chamber, reviewing their upcoming report as they walked. The Queen needed to be briefed on the destruction wrought by the storm surge, as well as the progress of rescue and reconstruction efforts. Talking like this is really hard. I lost my track. Okay. Braced for a somber meeting, the two knights arrived at the entrance to Her Majesty's chambers, only to find someone already there. Tuphut, the Queen's Milala tutor. I know who her tutor was back in Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX. Tutor, Doctor, what was this? Dr. Tot, yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's a play on Tuphut's Tot. Okay. Tuphut, the Queen's Milala tutor, was thumbing through his teaching materials listlessly. When questioned, he explained that he too had come to visit Queen Sphene, only to be turned away by her physician, Thundran. Interesting name. With no other recourse, the trio waited until Thundran emerged. Otis stepped forward at once, demanding an explanation. The physician lowered her gaze. Then, in a soft, halting tone, she delivered the news none had been prepared to hear. The Queen had passed away. Literally just, like, they're standing there, they wanted to talk to her, and suddenly she passed away? The hell? Okay, but how? I am sorry, but none can see her now. I must ask you to leave and pray speak not of this until a royal proclamation is made. I'd be like, fuck that, get out of my way. I want to see the Queen. She could have been murdered for all I know. Are you serious? The hell is this? Why couldn't they have began Tuphut before Thundran gave him a pointed look and swiftly strode away? Otis sank to his knees, the clatter of his armor against the cold store floor echoing on the corridor. Zelenia stood frozen, unable to find a single word of comfort for him or for herself. But through the haze of shock, a fragile strand of reason held fast. enough to grant her a presence of mind to be puzzled by the sudden turn of the Queen's health. So am I. Since the waning days of the Storm Surge, the Kingdom of Alexandria had been marked rise in those whose aether skewed towards lightning. Many knights, their limbs racked by creeping paralysis, had been forced into early retirement. Over time, the condition would strip away their ability to eat, to speak, to even breathe until finally death claimed them. But it was always a slow progression. Zelenia had not once heard of an afflicted soul succumbing overnight. Sveen too had grown frailer with time. Though she could no longer rise from bed, she had still woken with the sun and slept with the stars. Speech had been increasingly difficult, but the Queen's eyes had remained sharp, clear and vibrant just the other day. To be told she had passed away so suddenly, it beggared belief. As she pondered the impossibility, Zelenia felt another pang of unease. A stray remark, half unheard in grief, now surfaced with sudden clarity. She cast about the hall, but the tutor was gone, vanished from the Queen's chamber door. Interesting. 6 years had come and gone since the royal funeral. Over that time, Alexandria had survived many of its hardships thanks to the increasing influential Preservation, a technological development institute. The Royal Knights were busier than ever, and Zelenia was no exception, caught up in the restless demands of her daily duties. Yet the doubts she had buried for years had returned to the forefront in her mind. Following Sveen's passing, Tufwood had dedicated himself to Preservation's work. Zelenia made formal requests for an audience many times, all of which were seemingly ignored. But when a rumour reached her that the erstwhile tutor was visiting Alexandria, she seized the opportunity to catch him at the railway station. "You will ignore me no longer, Tupwood. I have but one question, and I have waited years to ask it." The Milala, who had only just hopped down from his carriage, whirled about with wild eyes. "Zelenia, what are you doing here?" The knight stepped closer, and continued with a steel whisper. "When we learned of the Queen's death, you said they couldn't have. Who do you mean by they? Please," he begged. "The path you walk is fraught with thorns." But Zelenia's gaze unwavering, Tupwood sighed in resignation. "My homeland lacks the knowledge to build barriers to keep the lightning aether at bay. I believe that by bringing back such technology, I could save my people. So I made a proposal. A means to, at best, delay the inevitable. Perhaps, but I never imagined how it might twist my intentions, and now I'm in no position to speak against them." "Tupwood, what are you saying?" The Milala looked away and shook his head. Zelenia knew all too well now no one would covet such Alexandria's protective technology. In a world ravaged by lightning aether, the barriers meant life or death. Before the Storm Surge, the kingdom had been shielded by such barriers, and since then, Preservation had strengthened them in response to the worsening environment. Little wonder Tupwood was unwilling to say more. Doubtless he feared upsetting his benefactors, who could withdraw their cooperation in retaliation. Ostensibly, the organisation had ever worked only with the people's best interests at heart, and while Zelenia was loath to suspect him of wrongdoing, Tupwood's cryptic statements hinted at a darker truth. Yet this grim possibility was not wholly unwelcome, for if Preservation was indeed involved, then Zelenia was closer to an answer to the question which had been long plagued her. Trino, my home, lies outside Alexandria's domain, yet the Royal Knights came to our rescue when disaster struck. For their selfless bravery I am eternally grateful, and that is precisely why I must implore you once more. Let it go, Zelenia. This is an interesting one. With a parting plea, Tupwood left her and the station behind. Zelenia watched him until his small form disappeared from sight. If her intuition was correct, she had no choice but to pursue Preservation. At the same time, she knew Tupwood was right. The organisation would make for a dangerous foe, especially while they enjoyed the favour of the people. She could rely upon no one else, not even Otis, And so Selenia, undaunted and unafraid, resolved to seek the truth and her queen alone. This is getting on my nerves now. There's lots of unlocking going on here. Solution 9, here I come. Okay. Back. Okay. For 5 years, the Knights had searched in secret. So this is going on for like 11 years now at this point. Clues were elusive and slippery, quietly erased while duty conveniently pulled her elsewhere again and again. Yeah, influence of course. The cycle had become her life, but today promised to be different. Today she stalked the castle's shadows. Once bustling with activity, it was now under preservation's control, and not even the royal lights could freely wander its halls. Many of the hidden passages he had uncovered were flooded by an interminable rain, yet one had been carefully maintained. At last she came to its end, and found herself inside the throne room. I'm assuming this is where Sphene was actually located. The floral perfumes where doleful cries had long since faded. Stale metallic odours and the hum of electro machinery now filled the chamber, punctuated by Zelenia's footsteps. An intricate web of cables converged on a coffin-shaped object near its centre. Zelenia approached and peered inside. There lay Sphene, her youthful face unmarred by the passage of time. My queen. Her trembling fingertips came to rest upon the enclosure. A storm of joy and fear and apprehension rolled within her. Through sheer force of will, Zelenia calmed this tempest and turned her attention towards the machine before her. These circuits, could they be converting lightning aspected ether into ice? Are they keeping her alive through cold-induced stasis? I'm surprised she even knows what that is. A means to, at best, delay the inevitable, she whispered, struck by the epiphany. Zelenia could shut down the device and bring Sphene back, but without a cure for Levin's sickness, her death would be assured. Zelenia stiffened, acutely aware of her surroundings once more. How did you let yourself get cornered? Wheeling about, her hand drifted to the hilt of her sword by reflex, and she was met by the preservation engineer flanked by 2 autonomous sentries. The engineer she recognized as Thundrin, Sphene's former physician. The trap is sprung. Just as she had grown weary of the endless game, so too had they. Was it you who left the breadcrumbs for me to follow, or your master? Ere we finish this, indulge me 2 questions. Was this Her Majesty's wish? Asked Zelenia. A strange thing to ask. The Queen was in no condition to speak. What need was there to seek her consent? Thundrin replied. The corner of Zelenia's mouth twisted as she bit back a snarl. Her words had already reached Sphene, but the Queen had always answered, with her eyes, if nothing else. But the time for argument had long since passed. With a long breath, Zelenia swallowed her fury. Then tell me, why keep her like this? Asked Zelenia. You've abandoned your research into a cure. I doubt you even believe one will ever be found. To preserve her memories. So long as we have those, she can one day live eternal. Or so he assures us, and we know who he is. Originally, we intended to distract them along with her soul upon death, but the risk proved too great. This was the safer path, one that ensures her memories endure. So long as our memories endure, we may live on. She knew the mantra well, but also knew it was never meant to justify reducing memory to a sterile data. Though the puzzle was incomplete, the engineer's placid smile made it clear she did not intend to divulge more. I hope that was enlightening, said Thundrin, as the sentry readied its weapon. Zelenia was a peerless warrior, a royal knight, and could have easily struck down her enemies. Yet the Queen slept peacefully behind her, and the quarters were too confined. Remembering her vow, she stayed her hand as the sentry struck. Pain blossomed in her chest and Zelenia fell. Did I make the right choice? The machine keeping Sphene alive hummed rhythmically like a beating heart, providing Lord no answers. There was nothing more she could do, only... Look, Zelenia, even the darkest clouds can't hide every star. You just have to find the gaps. So echoed Sphyn's voice, a final memory rising from the depths. Her queen's face lit with wonder as she spied a glimmer amidst the gloom. As her breathing slowed and her vision grew dim, Zelenia offered a prayer that she too might be guided by those faint motes of light. So she didn't even fight back. She was afraid that the machine would be damaged, of course, so she just sat there and took it. You couldn't have, like, jumped to the right or something, and that's not a way to end it. I wanted her to go out with a fight. Damn it. Still, that was a good story. I enjoyed that. Its ending could have been better, but yeah, it was good. I mean, we knew she died, but this explains how she died, and that's a good story. I like that. I suppose I'll do some quests now, and then I think I'll call it a night, primarily because I don't know if you can hear it, but there's actually fireworks going on outside, and my dog is getting extremely stressed. Aren't you, girl? Huh? You stressed out? She's very stressed, unfortunately. So I'll do a few quests and I'll call it a night. I want to get this one out of the way. Actually, no, that's the Hildebrand quest line. I won't do that yet. That's spoilers. Some people probably haven't done that yet. Let me do the side quests that I have left over. I have a few left over. Let's go back to Solution 9 music, though. I love this music. Yeah, when I did my original playthrough, I missed a lot of quests, to be honest. I was mainly concerned about finishing the MSQ quickly because I took it a lot slower than everybody else. Because I had to record stuff, I had to get the dialogues. It took me a long time to finish the MSQ. Well, by a long time, a couple of weeks, but still. The concierge hopes to offer insights to the Alexandrian way of life. I see Her Majesty has rescued you. Oh, jeez, this didn't age well, did it? Okay. My job is to inform visitors about the myriad services ongoing in the sector. Speaking of services, how would you feel about a little work experience? Some light labor to give you a sense of how we citizens live. Sure. Give me some work. I love some work. I'm using the wrong class, though. Deliver these supplies to clerk, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Can I switch classes now? I think I can, right? Yeah. Let's switch back. I'll take another quest while I'm here. Yeah, that alternate history is actually... The history of the Night Reflection is interesting to me. That's some good insight into the Storm Surge as well. We don't really have that many stories about it. We know the result of it, but we don't have stories that go on between it. So learning how Sphyn actually ended up getting sealed away is interesting. Would you mind giving me a hand? I'm trying to find a ring. He lost a ring. Oh, this is a new quest, isn't it? So she must have lost her ring. We've had her in our family for generations. Before the raid, I was doing some shopping in the Nexus arcade. Okay, so she lost a ring. Okay, let's have a look for the ring. That's around there, but let's get over here and get this done first. I'm literally only noticing there's a door there, do you know that? Or is that an elevator? I think it's an elevator. I tell you, when 8.0 comes around, I'm gonna miss Solution 9, you know that? I mean, it's still gonna be here, of course, but there's gonna be nobody really here anymore, is there? I'll be still walking the streets, as I always do. Experiencing, thinking about different storylines. Like, this is what I do to relax. I walk around Solution 9 in order to relax. It's a good way for me to think about things. The outsider who managed to get past it. Oh, they're talking about me. Okay. I'm assuming she wants me to drop this at the reception, right? A housing district in Solution 9 is actually a pretty good idea, Zelenka. Zagenda? Sorry, I don't know why I called you Zelenka. Zagenda. I think it's actually one of the most likely ones. primarily because a lot of people had positive reactions with Solution 9, and a version of the housing already kind of like, I think it would suit an area like this, like they have a housing block and stuff like that, and we could enter it. So in terms of like whether or not we'll get it, I think it's highly likely. Alright, so we've already given her her authentication tag confirmed. Okay, so we've given all the presents, and now we just go back. Okay, so that's literally just a fetch quest. Yeah, like, the housing could be, like, literally over there, like, you know? I mean, you have all this stuff around. And look over there, like, all the other blocks there, like. It could literally be an entrance from anywhere that we're living in one of those tower blocks in apartments. I mean, they don't have to give us a proper housing district. They give us an apartment district. That would be cool. I love how clean Solution 9 is in terms of design. It's just like everything is just perfect. I think I'll grab this quest while I'm here. She has a fuzzy wuzzy problem. Have you seen my black cat nearby? She was wearing a red collar with a big bell attached. We got separated during the upheaval the other day. Okay, so she lost her cat. I haven't seen her. Why would I say meow? Okay. Yeah, I'll have a look for her. I'm assuming she's around. There's something you need to know. My little fuzzy wuzzy simply adores being chased. If you find her, be sure to play along and tire her. Oh god. I'm gonna have to chase this cat around, aren't I? Oh, the cat's all the way over here. Okay. I'll be going back now. Alright, let's hand this in first. Or look over here for the ring, I think. This is a part of Solution 9 people rarely visit. Behind Nexus Arcade. I never see anybody come around here. Oh, there's the ring there. Oh, there is a person here, though. There's nothing on the ground. Alright, let's hand this in. I think I'll do these few quests and then I'm gonna call it a night. Primarily because my dog is getting really stressed. I can feel her shaking. I can literally feel my chair shaking because she's getting stressed. When it comes to delivery work, yeah, okay. She can't give me credits, so she's gonna give me cookie. Right, I appreciate it. I take cookies. I appreciate cookies as much as a nice person. Alright, let's get this person's ring back. We'll find that cat and then we're done. Nah, she's alright. It's just dogs hate fireworks. And there's just a lot of them going off right now. I don't know if you can hear her or not. But it's really stressing her out. I was going to take her on a walk, but I don't think I should do that now. Right, here's your ring. Plain ring set with a jet black stone. Hundreds of years ago, there was a terrible war we know as the Storm Surge. One of my ancestors, a scientist, had made it as an engagement ring. This little black stone, it's raw electrope ore. Apparently, they snuck a small chunk out of the laboratory and they were working on using it as a ring. Back then, electrope ore was worth a small fortune. A gesture like that would have been a surefire way to get anyone's heart, well, according to my mother at least. Of course, these days, electrope is more readily attainable, and without any circuits printed on it, a gem like this is nothing more than a bit of lightning aspected rock. Still, every time I look at it, I can't help but wonder about my ancestors and the lives they led. I suppose I'll never find out whether the ring was enough to send sparks flying, or if they were wed with all those said and done. That's interesting. That's an interesting little tidbit about the Storm Surge. Alright, let's find this cat. I forgot about the sprint as well. People were still really upset about this, aren't they? Or they were upset when they came out. They didn't like the sprint animation or something. I was like, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I rarely even use it, to be perfectly honest. Like, I can kind of see where they're coming from. It's just like the animation speeds up to make it look like you're running faster. Alright, where's the cat? Oh, there's a cutscene about this one. Kitten. There it is. Sup, kitten? You hate that cat. Why? Oh god, this is going to be bad, isn't it? Since the next fanfest isn't until April, I guess we won't get much direct answer about where we go until at least 7.5, 7.55. We're going to get some answers regarding where we're going. NA FanFest is going to give us it's going to give us the answer about where we're going, and the other FanFest will give us more detail about what's happening with the plot. But we're going to get answers on 7.4. Will start explaining where we're going, so we're not going to have to wait. Oh, the fuck! This thing's fast. Am I supposed to? What? I'm sorry, what? The fuck is this cat? The fuck? I can't catch it. Oh, it's okay, dear. I know, I said the word. I said the C word. I'm sorry, I said cat. I didn't mean to say cat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say cat. Jesus, stop. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's slowing down, isn't it? It has to be slowing down. Please say you're slowing down. Please say you're slowing down. Alright, I must be doing something wrong. Oh, it's going a different way now. Okay, I'm supposed to just keep chasing this fucking thing, aren't I? Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. Right. I'm waiting for my sprint. Right. 1, 2, 3. Motherfucker! Fucking cat! Fucking cat! Oh my god, I'm clicking on. Oh, seriously. Apparently I'm not supposed to click on it. I was just supposed to chase this freaking thing. Come here. Come here. Come on. You can't hide from me, cat. I'm literally close enough to catch it. Oh my god. Stop. Stop. Please stop. Oh my god. Right, which way are you gone? Stop! Alright. Freaking cat. Oh my god. Okay. That was fun. Well, I didn't enjoy that. Jesus. Freaking cat. Holy crap. Alright. I've got your cat now. Jesus. Put this thing on a lead. Freaking Sonic the Hedge cat. Whew. Alright, that cat was fun. I enjoyed that cat. I like that cat. Freaking cat. Oh, jeez. What was the reward for this again? I don't remember. Oh, it's in my inventory, isn't it? An energetic black cat wearing a resplendent red collar. Any resemblance to a coral kitten is purely coincidental, I'm sure. Yes, of course. It's not going to dry up to be a bloody black leopard or something, is it? Yeah, here's your damn cat. My little fuzzy wuzzy. I've never heard anybody call a cat a fuzzy wuzzy. I know it's something that you see on TV, but I've never seen a person call a cat a fuzzy wuzzy. She looks about ready for a cat nap. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm half surprised she didn't jump off the side. I'm from Toral originally, but was stranded here after the barrier went up. Oh, so she was a child when she came here. Alright. Okay, I think that's me done. Primarily because my dog is looking at me now as if to say, please do something, this is driving me nuts. So I'm going to have to comfort my little fuzzy wuzzy in order to make her actually get better now. So everybody, I appreciate you tuning in for this. It only lasted a couple of hours, but still I enjoyed it. My next video is coming soon. As I said, it's a theory video and it has to do with the future. So I'm still scripting it at the moment. A bit more research needs to be put in. I've got pretty much all the ideas in my head, but I need to confirm some of the finer lore details first before I finish it. So anyway, everybody have a good night and have a good one.